can just start, and I'm just gonna mark. Hey Facebook, I didn't even know we were going live, so I don't know what mess just happened. And if you're watching this and going, what is she talking about? That means I learned technology and found out how to trim this video, so don't you worry about that at all. You guys are getting a special treat today, by the way. I have Lee here with me, Lee Carr, owner of the Queen Creek Jabs. We're getting ready to pre-record our podcast that's going to go on Voice America next week on Wednesday, because all of you that are our listeners and our followers, you know every Wednesday we go live. But you're getting a sneak peek at what's going to happen next Wednesday on our show, because what we do today is not even airing until next Wednesday. So you guys get like a whole week ahead of time. So stay with us, because we're just going to get rolling on this technical difficulty stuff that we're rolling with. So we're going to get started right now, and I'm just going to jump in and get the show started. All right. Hello there, listeners, and welcome to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. I am your host, Colleen Biggs, and I have a beautiful co-host with me here in the studio, and her name is Lee Carr. Lee, say hi to our listeners on Voice America.
Hi. Nice to be here.
This is awesome. So we're also recording live on Facebook, and all of you that listen to our podcast know that. But till I get you introduced to our amazing interviewees we have today, we have Lee Carr, who I had said was the owner of Jabs here in Queen Creek, Arizona. We are videoing from her studio. So those of you on Facebook and those of you that are our listeners around the globe, we have 6 different countries that we're in. And I'd like to give a shout out really quick. San Francisco, way to kill it. You guys are our highest listening volume. I want to say thank you. And I also want to say, now that I know that you're our highest listening volume for our podcast, that when we put our calendar together for 2020, we're coming to you, because you guys love us and we're going to be there for you. So if you have a chance, listeners, go to our Facebook page, Lead Up for Women, and go check out this video so you can see the inside of the studio. It's an all-women studio, and we're going to get to Lee in a minute, but you know how we got to get caught up with Lead Up, because you guys need all the information about our events coming up. So today, we're going to be talking about punching out the competition through learning and physical fitness, because our other guest, Meredith, she's actually the owner of a Life Source training school. She's a speaker, she's a trainer, and an advocate for Talk Meredith. So super excited to have her on the show. She's going to be joining us in the second half. So real quick, events, ladies, for us to get caught up on. August 19th, we're going to be in Nashville, which all of you know, at the Luncheon at the Scarlett Bennett Center. I have some really awesome news for all of you attending that event. I was at Voice America the other day, and when I was at Voice America, they had a Keep Smiling campaign, and I think all of you remember on our podcast last Wednesday that I held up a card and talked all about it. The cool thing is, Andrea's coming as a panelist to our Nashville, Tennessee luncheon. She's going to be speaking to you, and we're going to do a fun pop-up Keep Smiling campaign. Now, for those of you that don't know, these are like, they're getting pictures of, I think on our website I put a photo yesterday of, who was it? Not Sylvester Stallone. Oh, John Travolta holding one of those Keep Smiling. So Matthew McConaughey, they have Les Brown. So this is a big deal. I'm getting ready to produce a book with Keep Smiling Foundation, and of course our listeners will have access to that, our members will have access to that. Again, just another value add for you, but this Keep Smiling movement is super awesome. Why? Because it spreads joy and it spreads happiness. All of us want joy and happiness in our lives, so what better way than smiling? Because it's infectious, right? All right, so that's the first thing you need to know. Meredith, who's going to be on the phone here in a minute, she's also going to be our panelist there. So you guys have got to get some tickets. We have some seats left, so make sure you go out to our website, or you can go to Eventbrite. Either one, go to Lead Up for Women, go get your tickets. If you want a direct discount, all you have to do is reach out to me. I am a friendly person. All you have to do is just email me at info@leadupforwomen.com, and I will get you some discount tickets. And we have group tickets available at a pretty discounted price too, because we believe women coming in groups is way better. Community, right? All right, so moving on, August 22nd through the 24th, yours truly is going to be speaking at what we call the Incubator and we're going to be in the Red Rock Hotel. If you are a startup business, or if you're thinking of starting a business, or if you're stuck in your business, remember I talk about resources and gathering women? This one's for men and women. And yes, I'm going to be there with 11 other speakers. And this is literally a room of 2.5 days for a business owner to take their business from here, I'm showing my hand at a low level for all of our listeners, to here at a very high level. And I say that because every resource you could possibly need to be able to run your business, they're all going to be on the stage. This is your opportunity to network with people, meet people, and I can tell you firsthand, I have gone to a couple events and it has already changed the game for me. So I wouldn't do it if I didn't believe in it, and all of our listeners, you guys know that. I'm a true, authentic person. I certainly wouldn't do it if I didn't believe in it. The last thing I wanted to, so go get your tickets at talktothementor.com, and we're going to be throwing a bunch more information on our website. Newsletters are going to come out. So if you haven't gotten on the free newsletter, at least go to leaderforwomen.com and do that. That's like the first baby step you can take. All right, so now I want to move on to our last event, which is September 12th in New York. So we're still working out the details. We already were hung out in New York on March 25th, but there's such a demand for us to come back that we're gonna like roll on over to there in September. So watch online for the details coming out on that. And of course, if you listen to our podcast every week, I will just give you all the details that you need so that you can get signed up. I'm done. Enough about us. Now it is time to turn over the time to our lovely ladies that we have. And I'm going to start with Denali, who's here in the studio, her studio. We are in a pink and black Jab studio. Like I said, listeners, go out to Facebook and check this place out. It's awesome. And Denali, hi.
Hi.
Okay, we're gonna have to scoot in a little closer. Okay. We're gonna have to get nice and cozy today. All right. So Denali, I'd love you to tell our listeners a little bit about tell us your story. Why Jabs? What is your story? Why are you here? Tell us a little bit about your personal life, because women that are listening to this podcast, they want to learn from what you've been through, from hurdles to adversity to areas in your life that you made a change or hit rock bottom, or what led you to want to do Jabs and the businesses that you own today.
Well, was raised by awesome parents who were very much into hard work, and I went through a period of time. I have 7 kids, and I think you have the same.
I have 7 kids.
We both have 7 kids. I have 7 children, and found myself a single parent. I was a single parent for over 10 years, and I had also been heavier. Weight had fluctuated. Needed to lose a lot of weight. After a huge, momentous change, I decided to go back to school as an adult, and finally finished my degree, my bachelor's degree. And
what did you get your bachelor's degree in?
So my bachelor's degree is in sociocultural anthropology with a minor in history.
Say that 3 times fast.
So, go Cougars, BYU.
Yeah!
But after I graduated, I wanted to make a change. I was living in Utah at the time. Sold my home, packed up my kids, took a job here, and moved. While I was at that job, a brand new gym opened up down the road that was hot pink and black and industrial loft style, and super cool because the women got pink boxing gloves, pink MMA gloves to hit the bags and do the workout. And as someone who had struggled with my weight, my health, physical fitness, I was an athlete in high school, but after 7 kids, things happen. And I decided that I loved it. I actually, before I opened my Jabs, I am a franchise. Before we opened, I had been working out at Jabs for over 4 years. So about 4.5 years. And had actually tried several of their locations. I moved to an area that didn't have one and was really disappointed. The closest one was a half an hour away, and I was driving. So I was in the car driving longer than my workout was, and decided, well, I think the area that I live really needs one of these. I think the women I gained so much from it. Just before I opened my franchise, I actually had finished my master's as well. And
Nice.
so
Congratulations.
Thanks. I was rather proud of that when you're a single parent and doing it all.
A single parent of 7 children and getting your master's degree.
So,
No one ever should complain when they wake up in the morning and think, oh my gosh, I have to go to work or whatever it is. And I love these stories because they inspire me to never complain when I have 7 children and things aren't going the way I'd like it to go, right? Right, yeah.
Never easy, never smooth.
Right.
So I decided that the area needed one. Had considered franchising before, decided this was perhaps the right time.
Yeah.
And we have been open about 16 months. And it's wonderful. I am able to combine my love of people with working with all of these ladies, having been through my own journey. I lost 130 pounds.
Wow, ladies, let's clap on that. Congratulations, Stanley. That's awesome.
After the last, we put on a little weight when we're pregnant, and
or after we hit 45.
that too. So I decided that this was just a way that I could help share the knowledge that I had gained from my experiences and be able to help so many other women. It was also a way for me to marry those personal experiences with my master's, which is in psychology. So,
that's interesting that you say that, because psychology, it's all about mindset when it comes to physical fitness and working out. Your physical body is capable of doing so much more than our mental ability if we're blocked on that. So if any of you know, watch people that run marathons or do Ironmans, physically your body is capable of doing so much more than you think it's capable of doing. Yeah, our brains shut that down. I talk about this all the time. The motherboard, when mama's not happy, no one's happy. I want everyone to hear this again. I say this every week. The motherboard of your body are your thoughts. And I say that because our thoughts lead to if we're sick, if we're not sick, if we're successful, if we're not successful, if we have a love-hate relationship with finding the right man. Because if you think you're never going to find the right man, you've just told yourself you will never find the right man.
Yep.
And guess what? You will never find the right man.
Exactly.
It's really how it works. I use the example. When you hear a loud noise and your body jumps and it gets hot and you start shaking, and it was a book that fell off the counter, was your body ever in harm's way?
No.
No, but your thoughts immediately said, "Ugh, I'm scared because I'm in harm's way because I heard a loud noise." Your mind goes, "No problem. We're gonna protect it. We're gonna jump. We're gonna shake. We're gonna start looking around." So it's a great example to understand how quickly your thoughts, which is the motherboard, think of a computer, controls everything in your entire life. And for you to have this desire to build up other women, because this is all women, and I freaking love this place. I keep telling Denley, I swear I'm gonna sign up, because I came in and tried out the class one day, and I just wish my schedule of traveling wasn't so crazy, but I'm just gonna get on board, and then that way I can just come whenever I'm home, because I keep trying to get this startup going, and I just feel so good while I'm here. But it's the community of women and this family that's created that I love.
Very much so. We have an incredible community.
Yeah.
Watching the ladies, so we function like a circuit.
Yeah.
The ladies are moving from station to station, and watching the ladies as they rotate, slapping each other high fives, and seeing somebody struggling with getting their reps in, and you've got someone across the room yelling, "Yeah, come on, you can do it. You got this."
Yeah.
It is a huge community. We are, and we're very loved. We're very loved by the community here too. My members, they nominated us, and we were one of the top finalists for Emerging Business of the Year.
No
for the town of Queen
way!
Creek.
Congratulations!
So we're
That's
up
great.
for the award for this year, and it was all because of these women that nominated us. So.
All right, so listeners, we have to run to a fast break. So we're going to be back in 2 minutes, but stay around because we're going to find out more from Denali about her Emerging Business Award, and we still have Meredith to get to. So hang out there with us. We'll be right back. Okay, Facebook, we're talking to you now. So we're going to take like a little 10-second break, and then we're going to get back because we don't have to follow the rules today and do a full 2-minute break. So what do you guys think of Denali so far? Like, I'm waiting for your comments to come up to say, like, she's freaking awesome. I love this girl. Like, I love this place. And the energy, she's not even lying. The energy here is ridiculous when you're in here working out. And it's the instructors.
Yes.
It's the instructors too, because the instructors are the ones when she was like, okay, we're going to do this circuit again. I was like, come again? What? I'm dead. And she just said, we're going to do it again. And I was like, in my brain, and I don't give up. Everyone knows that. In my brain, I went, there's no way I can do this again. And I did it again. And I was so proud of myself. By the time I hit like number 16 over here, I was like, I'm like one and I'm done. Like, this is it. This is the last one. And it's the getting started that's the hard part, right?
It is.
Always the getting started. Okay. All right, Facebook, hang out with us for just a minute here. We're coming back right now. So 3, 2, 1. Hey listeners, welcome back to the show. You're listening to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. This is your host, Colleen Biggs. Thanks for coming back with us. If you missed us in the first half, or if you just came back, we're speaking with Lee Carr. Say hi.
Hi.
So she owns Jabs. It's a female fitness circuit, kickboxing. What is there like an actual name for it, or
For what we do?
Yeah,
Not exactly.
a kick-ass center for women to feel good about themselves.
So we've combined all of the elements of kickboxing with a circuit workout where you're going to be doing plyometrics. You're going to be doing high intensity interval training, strength training, going to get that cardio in. We're going to throw in battle ropes, medicine balls, everything.
Love it.
And so you're never bored.
Yeah.
You're never plateauing. It's different every day. You can come every day for a year. You'll never repeat the same workout twice.
No way.
Yep.
Okay,
exactly.
see, I didn't know that. That was something I just learned.
So.
Wow, that's cool. Okay, so Jabs are in what area? Tell me what area of the country they're in for our listeners, because we're worldwide. So
Sure.
I know I do have a lot of listeners in Ireland. So maybe this is an opportunity for any woman that's on the phone, if that doesn't exist where you are. This could be a really good opportunity for you to be like, hey, I think I want to start something up over here in Ireland for women.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely. So we have 17 locations in Arizona.
Okay.
We have, I think we're at 3 locations out of the state right now. We are in New Jersey. We're in Philadelphia.
My hometown, New Jersey.
Yeah. So, but we also have another one scheduled to be open in Pennsylvania, another one scheduled to be open in Delaware, and another one slated to be open in Arizona.
All right, so my peeps on the East Coast, did you guys hear that? They're opening in New Jersey, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and another one in Arizona.
Correct.
So you're nationwide, but you're small, and it's a franchise, right?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
So if somebody wanted to, so we can wrap up with you and make sure we have time for Meredith. If somebody wanted to find out how to get a franchise, how would they do that? What would be the process they would go through?
So they're welcome to reach out to me.
Okay, how would they reach you?
They can reach me by calling our studio number, which is 480-865-6200.
Okay, go ahead and repeat that one more time.
You bet. 480-865-6200.
Okay, did you guys get that? For our Facebook listeners out there, we're going to go ahead and put that in the comments section. So you guys have it and it's there and you know how to reach out to her. And then for our listeners, again, it's 480-865-6200. And then how else could they?
They can reach me via email.
Okay.
So my email is my name, Denali, D as in Delta, E-N-A-L-E-E, at Jabs, J-A-B as in boxing, Z as in zebra, boxing.com, jabsboxing.com.
I love that. And we're going to put it out on Facebook as well. So again, if you're a listener, Facebook is worldwide. So all you have to do is just go out there and check it out. So Denali, Thank you so much for being with us. This has just been so awesome. Tell me a little bit more about the award. Do we know anything about the award?
So,
like, what are the details?
So the details are, next Friday, I go for professional hair and makeup and interview and lights and putting together a video presentation. And then we have our awards banquet September 19th in Cantera Country Club here. And that's about all I know.
That's so great. So, September 19th. I mean, if I'm in town and you need a +1, yes, I would totally want to go and support you. We'll just do it live on Facebook.
We can,
and then,
absolutely.
Be great. So we want to promote you. We want to make sure you're out there with that award. That's great stuff. Is there anything we missed that you wanted to share? Is there any other businesses that you have that you want to promote? Or
I do own one other business. It's a little different.
What is it?
So I own a company called Advocate Lawsuit Funding. We provide litigation funding to plaintiffs and attorneys.
We can all use that at some point in our life. So what we'll do is, how does someone reach you? Same studio, phone number?
Yeah, you can just call that main number.
And what was that again? Advocate?
My other company is Advocate Lawsuit Funding.
Lawsuit Funding. All right, we'll put the information out there on Facebook. You can never have too much information. That's the way I look at it. So we'll get that out there. All right, well, we've got some time. We're not needing to go to break. I've got a good 10 minutes here to bring in my gal Meredith. Meredith, are you there? I'll need you to unmute yourself.
Yes, I am here. Hello, everyone.
All right, there she is. I'm going to have you talk nice and loud so our awesome Facebook friends out there can hear you. And I tell you what, if anyone has trouble hearing Meredith and you wanted to ask a question, please feel free to post that on Facebook and Meredith can respond directly to you under the comment section, just in case for some reason you're not able to hear her that well. Now, that's only for Facebook today. Remind you, this isn't just the only place that we have our podcast. We're on like 13 different outlets. And by the way, iTunes, we're rocking it on iTunes. We're like really high on iTunes. So if any of you are listening on iTunes, please put a recommendation out there for us because that'll help bring us up even higher on iTunes. And then we have a lot of Apple listeners. Personally, I'm not an iPhone person or an Apple user, but a lot of other people are. I respect them. I'm just more of a Droid user because I like the open freedoms that offer to me. So Meredith, they will be able to hear you absolutely perfect on our podcast. But for today, on Facebook, I would love for you to share with our listeners a little bit about who you are, how you got started. I've heard your story a little bit, and I think it's inspiring, and I'd love for you to share that with our listeners.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay. Well, I am Meredith Howard. I am the owner of Life Force Training School in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and it's actually international as well. I'm also a motivational speaker, advocate of women, of families. Life Force, what can I say? My story was birthed out of tragedy. I went through a divorce and went through so much with a divorce and ended up my daddy getting sick all at the same time and having to move back home. And when I moved back home, I got my dream job. I got my dream job at the place that I did all my externs, and I thought this is it. You know, I'm one of those, I'm an entrepreneur. I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. I started my first business when I was only 13 years old. So,
I have a couple questions for you already, if you don't mind me asking before we get too far in. So where was your dream job, and what entrepreneur business did you start at 13?
At 13, I started an entrepreneur job. I was doing business cards, letterhead, and all that stuff for people. But,
what?
And then I was fixing people's computers.
Oh yeah, girl, you're technology savvy. I like that.
So I'm a techie. I am a techie. So I started that business at the age of 13.
Okay.
And I had been doing that with my dad ever since, and helping people with their businesses, and not knowing really I was to be at nursing at a local hospital in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
So that was my dream job. That's actually where I did all my externs and everything. And I thought, well, this is it. You know, I've hit the jackpot. I'm here, and I'm doing wonderful. So one day, you know, I was working I had been there maybe 2 weeks, and something happened with some systems at the front desk and everything, and they wanted everybody fired in the front. Whoa. That was including me. And I had only been there for 2 weeks. I had HR advocate for me. They were like, she's only been here 2 weeks. You know, can y'all help her with something? And they were like, no, we just are frustrated with our front desk. We want everybody gone.
Wow, that's awesome leadership, huh? Dang.
Yeah.
That's not who anyone wants to work for.
So at that point, I found myself divorced. I found myself single mom. I found myself in a place with no job. Since I was 20 years old, I never lived with anybody, and I was back living with my brother. It was a lot of stuff that went down, and I had been praying, you know, prior, because I'm a workaholic. I always work, and you know, when I was living in Atlanta, I worked 24/7 almost, you know, in the healthcare field. So I did not have time to do my own business. Yeah. And I had the structure down. I had, you know, it all written out in paper, and every day, you know, I would have it in front of my face, and this is what I want to do. But actually, I was scared to step out and do what I really needed to do. So I think that's a lot of people's background, is that when they're wanting to start a business, it's very scary. You have a lot of fear that debilitates you when it comes to thinking about doing something on your own.
You should never do anything on your own. That's why you know, female was created for a male. You should never, like peanut butter and jelly. You should never do anything. We're not built to be alone. We're not built that way.
You are definitely right. You are definitely right. So it's very scary thinking, okay, my name is behind this business. If it doesn't work, you know, that's on me. If this doesn't work, you know, you got so many things in your mind. Yeah. So at that point, I found myself like kind of at rock bottom, lower than I had been in a very long time. I went through a depression, and you know, went through so much stuff after that. And then I one day came across the tablet that I wrote all of my dreams and everything down in. And I seen up there where it said Life Source, and it was talking about, at first it was Life Source CPR training school. And then I was reading it, and I was reading all the stuff, and I was like, okay, and it was like God was speaking to me saying, you cried and snotted and all this stuff about wanting time to have your own business, to do things, and you never had time for it. Now look at you. You got all the time in the world. You don't work, you don't do anything, so you got all the time in the world. So I picked that tablet up, and I started trying to do it actually in the city that I was in at first, and you know, it just wasn't flying off right and everything. So it's like it happened overnight. This one lady, she called me. She's like, Meredith, I heard you're back home. You know, do you still do CPR in first aid? And I said, well, yeah, I do. And she was like, well, I need you to come, you know, to the office and train my team. And I was like, okay, wonderful. So I went and trained her team, and then from that, I got another call and another call from someone else. It just dwindled into this big old thing, and then to where it was running faster than me.
Once that train takes off out of the station, right?
Yeah. That is definitely right. So I feel like out of all of my tragedy, out of everything that I went through, it was something birthed out of all of that. My business was birthed out of that. It started out with me doing just CPR and first aid. Then I was asked to speak somewhere, and then, you know, I started being asked to do other enrichment classes for the community. So Life Source has turned into a empowerment for the community. I do cooking classes. We do reading. We do CPR, first aid. We do how to financing and how to any step-by-step instruction that we can give you that'll empower you and cause you to want to move forward in your life. That's what we do. So I put together specialized trainings for different people. We've teamed up with community actions and the community education here where I am, and we have did that to bring community classes and training to the community and just to empower our community. We have so many people here with different walks of life who maybe we have, and my newest passion is co-parenting. When I went through, divorce and separation from my ex-husband, it was rough. It was rough trying to co-parent. It was rough trying to get everything on the same page. Now we have found a way to co-parent together and get and make sure that our children are taken care of to the best of our ability. So I've even written, I'm writing a book, and it'll be out next year, that successful co-parenting is possible. People, when you're looking at it from the beginning, you don't see the end yet. You don't think that this is going to be a successful thing. You're thinking that you're going to fight forever. You're thinking that, you're not going to see eye to eye forever. But successful co-parenting is possible. And the first thing is dealing with yourself. Dealing with yourself and your own insecurities, your own things that you have against, and understanding that the relationship that you have with that ex-husband or with that ex-wife or with that relationship is not the same relationship that they have with their children. So you can't put that same relationship on someone else and think that, okay, he did me wrong, so he's going to do my child wrong. No, that relationship is totally different.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to stop associating it with each other, or we're going to tear the family down. So we can still be a cohesive family without being together.
I'm glad you shared that, Meredith.
That's just it.
Yeah. That's so important, and I love that you empower youth. And explain to me, this Life Source Training School started with just your very first job of going in, and someone hired you to do first aid training. So my question is, did you build a brick and mortar store? Did you are you leasing a building and then you've created classrooms within that building? How big have you gotten?
That is the next step. I did not, actually from the beginning, I didn't think it was going to be that big, but that is our next step.
Yes.
We're looking in 2020 to have our brick and mortar.
Okay.
We're going to have Babysitters Club training. We're going to have all different types of trainings within this building. We're also going to lease that out, because that was my biggest problem at first, finding a place to actually lease out to do my classes.
Yeah.
So we're going to lease out for free those rooms for people to come and do their business and train. And if it's empowering the community, come on in and let's get this all together.
Yeah.
And you can train and do community work here in this building. So it's right now it is mobile, and everybody under me is mobile. They go mobily. I go to Atlanta, Kentucky, Tennessee. My last one was in Ohio, so Cincinnati. So we are everywhere. We take our trainings everywhere. So the mobile part is I want to continue that, because we're going to add phlebotomy and other things under that as well. So I want that to continue, because that's our heart right there. That is our heart. But I do want the brick and mortar for people here in the community to come and be able to be trained in one central location.
Meredith, I have so many questions for you that are going through my head right now, but I know we have to take a break. So we're going to come back in just 2 minutes. And so for all of our listeners out there, I don't know if you're listening to this, but this is just an amazing story. And I just want to dig in and find out more about the Life Source Training School. If it's online, how can we get involved? How can we get involved with her passion of empowering and helping with the co-parenting and that education? So everyone stay with us. We'll be right back in 2 minutes. Okay, so we're at break right now from our out there for Voice America, so they'll clip it right here, and we're on break. So for all of our Facebook friends, I didn't get to say hi to everyone. We had like Renee, Pamela, Renata, Glenn, and Glenn, you did Visit Jabs in Queen Creek, highly recommended. It gave you a little shout out. I highly recommend it too. I just noticed that I have no photographer and videographer here today. Apparently my husband didn't get the memo. So if any of you are listening right now and have his cell phone number, you could text him and say your wife is sitting at Jabs waiting for you and you didn't show up. But that's okay, because Denali and I will take our own photos, so don't you worry about it. But anyway, he was supposed to be here, but maybe he just got too busy. I don't know what happened. You know, when you work with family, he's just so awesome. But okay, so now we're gonna come back. So I'm gonna bring us back to the show. And then we're gonna have another full segment, and then we will go to, and then I'll wrap us up, and then I'll wrap up the show, okay? So Meredith, just hang out there, and I'm gonna get you right on in about 30 seconds, okay? 3, 2. Hey there, welcome back to Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. Hey there, you guys are listening to Colleen Biggs. I'm the co-host for Lead Up for Women, and as on our radio show, we have been talking to Lee Carr in our first segment, and now we're talking to Meredith Howard, and she's the president and CEO of Life Source Training School, and this is amazing. So if you just joined us, I need you to go back and listen to the first part for sure, because she has so much to share about how her life started, and I want to go back and talk a little bit to Meredith more about one section of the comments that she made, which was, I had all of these notes in my tablet of being an entrepreneur as she started at 13, and all these things she wanted to do as an adult. And as females, I'm just going to just refer to females at the moment, but males, I know you have the same issue out there. We're afraid. Now, again, we talked about the physical body and the mental capacity. Remember the motherboard, the thoughts. If you know you can do it, if you have a vision board written down. Denali invited me into her studio over the past summer, and I was so blessed to be able to come in and spend some time with some young girls on doing SMART goals and vision boards. That in itself, just to watch them in a few hours, it was just amazing at what their goals are, and their little brains and their faces light up like, I can do anything I put my mind to. They don't know that, right? So I think it's kind of, you know, it's ingrained in us as we grow up that you have to limit yourself somewhere. And I'm here to tell everyone that if you can think it, it already exists in the universe. Because if you thought it, it had to have existed for you to think it, or you couldn't think it. Just let that one settle in for a second. I know that sounds crazy, right, Meredith? But when you... and I talk about this all the time, if it's spiritual energy, if it's God, if it's Buddha, if it's your artificial universe intelligence, whatever it is that you believe in, we'll call it the universe for today. Whatever it is that you believe in, all you have to do is throw it out in the universe, because it already exists. Your future already exists, because where you are in your exact surroundings today are a product of what you have created for yourself. You asked to be in this life. You created the life you have, which means we can all create the life we want and write our story, because it doesn't matter what happened in the past or even today. Tomorrow's another day, right, Meredith? So I love what you shared. It is about the spiritual growth, and if you could share one tidbit for the ladies out there, now that you've created the business, now that you're running this business and it's getting bigger and bigger, more than you imagined, I want to challenge you to imagine it to be even bigger than you think that's going to be, because I think that's actually where you're going to be, because that's limiting yourself to say, wow, we didn't even know it was going to be that big. Now I think it's going to be twice that size, and then probably have pods all over, right, and training schools all over the United States and probably globally. But what advice could you give the women
I accept and I receive all of that, Colleen.
Yeah, right, girl? Oh, I can tell. Tell our listeners, what one piece of advice would you give them now, knowing that you said you were alone, and it's very scary to do it alone, and one person believed in you and asked you to come and do a class. So what would you recommend to a female from your point of view? I mean, I've given mine plenty of times on the air. What would be your point of view of something a woman needs to hear from you, Meredith?
I feel that us as women, we're more scared to do things because we don't think that we'll have the backing. But if you never start, you never know what it's going to be. And actually, if you step out, you'll see that more people are behind you than what you really think. And a lot of times our fear, like I said, our fear debilitates us.
Mm-hmm.
Fear tells us, no, you can't, when really, yes, you can.
Yep.
Fear tells us that it's not going to be what you think it's going to be.
Right.
But in reality, it can be whatever you want it to be if you just step out. And a lot of times, we feel that just because we don't have the skills,
mm-hmm.
I was a high school dropout. It's just, but I did not finish high school. I just went. I tried to finish early, trying to be, all big and bad,
mm-hmm.
and trying to finish early and be grown, and ended up taking the wrong classes. So I said, I'm not going to even worry about it. I had to get my GED. I waited 2 years. I was depressed for 2 years after that.
Good for you. Congratulations. You went back. You did it. Yeah.
Went to college. And started my own business. Did all these different things. And I like now. But at the time, when I was in the situation,
mm-hmm.
I felt like I'm never going to be anything because that's what I was told.
Yeah.
But don't ever listen to negativity. Negativity always kills you.
Yeah.
It always kills the dream that you have. When really deep down inside of every one of us, we have purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go and we step out on our purpose, we will finish at the end. We have a plan. There is a plan for our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you said, if you throw it out there, you can have it.
Yeah.
Whatever you
Heck
say.
yeah. Yep.
So never ever, if you never ever start, you never ever know what it's going to be.
Right.
So at least you can say, if you started and you fell on your butt, at
You
least
learned.
You can say, I started that.
Yeah, and then you learned.
You know what? I'm getting right back up. I'm learning from this. I'm getting right back up, and I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. I failed many times. On the other side of that fail, on the other side of that no, is a yes.
Yeah. Failure, I think.
You get it all the time.
Do you know one entrepreneur that hasn't said they failed somewhere along the way? I think that's part of the journey. It really is. It's part of the journey. Because if to me, if you're trying something and you fail, you learn from that. But if you hadn't gone down that road and failed, you never would have learned that, which then actually, on the flip side, got you to where you are today, right? I could go back. I'm a divorced mother. I could go back and say, failed marriages. And I remember that whole co-parenting. And I have friends today going through divorces. And I looked at them and I said, I know it feels like it's never going to end. And you are in the middle of something that is just horrific. And trust me when I tell you, and now I'm 20 years past it. And I can go back and go, I don't remember why we even fought over that. I literally had my ex-husband, he was literally standing in my house the other day, and because it doesn't bother me, but there was a 6-year draw through the courts, and it was just a constant fight. And I think the biggest thing I can advice like you gave, Meredith, is A, it's not going to last forever, and B, remember that your relationship you have with that other partner, that spouse, is the relationship with that spouse. The children should never be involved in that, ever. The children should never be leveraged. They should never be used, because any person I've ever met, including myself, that stands up in front of a crowd, it's my story of when my dad left that changed my life. So you know that no matter what happens in a divorce, those children are affected. So you have to make it as easy as possible for them and as joyful as possible, or you're not only ruining their life, you're ruining whoever they touch moving forward. And there's just it's just a domino effect.
Yep.
Right?
But you know, I got to say one thing.
Go ahead, Meredith.
I really got to say one thing. I have to shout out to my best friend, Carson. Carson is my ex-husband, and we've been through a rough time. But I have to say, if it hadn't been for his willingness to actually make this work, actually, let's stop fighting. Let's, at the end of the day, let's just calm down and see what the big picture is supposed to be, which is my daughter Taylor. It's rough when you have to do it by yourself.
Yes.
He's a wonderful father. He is always there. I don't care if she says, hey, I, want to climb a mountain. He'll say, okay, baby, let's go. Let's climb this mountain. Let's do this, And it helps to have someone on the other end who is willing to just put in the work.
Heck yeah.
Just like you are. So if you're both putting in the work and you're both doing what you need to do for your child, it always gets a pretty picture at the end. It was rough at the beginning. I'm not going to say it was all peaches and cream, but now I can say we live a comfortable life. We co-parent as well. I'm actually, he's going to write the prelude to my book, everything. And it's like, and it's not only the motivation between, we want our daughter to see us in a good light. We want her to see us getting along and loving, caring about each other. Even if he's got a promotion on his job, hey, let's all go out. Let's let our daughter see us celebrate each other. Because I want her to be celebrated as well. I want her to see positivity in her life, not negativity. And when you look at that at the end of the day and you see, okay, this is the big picture. How are we going to get, every family is different, by the way. But if you look back, step back, look at the big picture, then you can start eating the elephant one bit at a time.
Meredith, we have to,
we're
going to have to wrap up, so I want to make sure all of our listeners on the podcast as well as out here on Facebook have an opportunity to get your information. So you have a life training school. Is it lifesourcetrainingschool.com?
Yes.
Okay, lifesourcetrainingschool.com. You can also find Meredith on Facebook under Talk Meredith. Is that correct?
Talk Meredith or Meredith Howard.
Or Meredith Howard, which is Howard. So Talk Meredith or Meredith Howard. Do you have a Facebook page for your Life Source Training School?
Yes, it's a Facebook. It's at Life Source Training.
Okay.
And you'll find us. We are also on Twitter. It's at Life Source Training.
Great.
And on Instagram, I have Talk Meredith on Instagram.
Perfect.
And also Life Force Training on Instagram.
Well, make sure you go out there on our Facebook page under the live video and put all your information out there for our listeners or for everyone on Facebook. And then now our listeners have information on how to get a hold of you. So if you guys are looking to hire Meredith for a training for your company, if you're looking to need assistance going through some co-parenting because you're in the middle of a divorce, if you'd love to have her as a motivational speaker, I know I'm bringing her in. She's going to be in Nashville, and I can't wait to meet you in person.
I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
These are single mothers right here. So you've got Denali, you've got me, Colleen Biggs, you've got Meredith Townsend Howard, single mothers starting businesses. I got remarried, but I've been a single mother for years and years and years, and we're not meant to do it alone. I can tell you that right now. It's the hardest thing ever. And so I can't thank you guys enough for joining me today. I just want to let our listeners know that next week we're going to be interviewing the attendees from the Nashville, Tennessee luncheon. We're going to be interviewing Allison Greek. She lives in my community. I love this girl. She's an Allstate Employee Relations Manager. Go ahead and throw yourself on mute there, Meredith. And then we've got Andrea Adams Miller. She's the one that I said was the CEO of social media, the strategist, and she's in the Keep Smiling Foundation. So she's also going to be on next week's show. So grab your tickets, and we have events coming up, so go check our website. Thank you, Denali. Thank you, Meredith. I want to say one last thing out there to all of our listeners. Remember, you are the only you that has ever been, and you are the only you that will ever be. So be you and be strong, and don't wait for anyone to give you permission to live your life. We'll talk to you guys next week, 10 o'clock on Wednesday. Take care. Bye. Hold on, Meredith. Let me stop this. Thank you, all the engineers at Facebook. And I'm just going to stop the recording. Meredith, are you still there?
I am.
Perfect. Hey, thank you so much. And Facebook, to all of you, thank you so much. So, yeah, it's been wonderful. and we have Facebook listeners all over the place. So if you're in Georgia, right? No, you're in Tennessee. So if they're in Tennessee, they need to look you up and get hooked up with you, or any of those states surrounding you, right? Like you mentioned. So you guys are on Facebook and you're listening. You got to get out there and get hooked up with Meredith. She's awesome.
And I travel.
And she travels. She travels. So she'll come to you. And do you have anything online?
Anything online?
Like online, meaning, can I do a training through your website online, or?
Actually, I am starting at the end of next month. I will be doing some live training.
Great.
So I will be able to train your people and figure out materials and training for you to do that with me.
Okay, sweet. Okay, great. Well, keep me up to date on that, and our Facebook friends up to date on that. Thank you, Meredith, for joining us today. I've got your bio, and I have your headshot, so we're going to get it all out there. So don't forget, Facebook friends out there, make sure you tune in next Wednesday at 10 o'clock to Voice America, because you're going to be able to hear these beautiful ladies, and it'll probably sound a lot better than it did today, because the engineers are going to clean it all up. So that's what we're paying for. All right, Meredith, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, bye, hun.
Bye-bye.
Okay, all right, so we're done with that. I just wanted to say goodbye. Is there anything else you want to say to our Facebook friends out there? This is your opportunity. Yeah?
Follow Lead Up for Women.
Heck yeah. Come to Jabs, man. If you guys are here, we're in Queen Creek. So what are we, like Rittenhouse and Ellsworth right
We
now?
are in the
right?
southeast corner of Rittenhouse and Ellsworth Road.
It's like right up the street for me, because I live in the East Valley, but I know for some of you it might be a drive, but you got to check this place out. And if you want to bring someone with you, all you have to do is get a hold of me. You can message me on Facebook, whatever it is. I'll come with you, because I love this kind of stuff. It's great. So Facebook, bye for now. We're going to close out, and we will be back another day. I will be out of town next week, but don't you worry about it, because I'll be back. Coming around now to go to finish. Bye.